Will Joe Biden be the Democratic nominee? The answer is no. 40% of his presidency has been on vacation. I'm sure he'd be happy with another 100% where he could say, all right, I beat Donald Trump. I did my job. I don't think one person would have a problem with that, including, I think, Joe Biden. Does Joe Biden have the mental stamina to do another campaign? The answer is absolutely no. And voters in this country see that. We see poll after poll showing that 2/3 of the American people don't think he has the mental capacity to be president. I mean, imagine this. This isn't somebody who's working at the local restaurant or is volunteering in a library. This is the commander in chief of the United States Armed Forces. This is the leader of the free world. And 2/3 of his own people don't think he has the mental capacity. So now we're going into this campaign, and Joe Biden can't do what he did in 2020, which was campaign primarily from his basement, doing Zoom interviews, blaming it on COVID. I don't want to expose anybody or myself. I'm going to play this safe. He doesn't have that excuse anymore. He'll actually have to get out there and campaign. But as we've seen so far, he announced in April he was running for president again, and we've barely seen him do any campaign events. And when he does, it's usually in Maryland, as it was this week, or Pennsylvania, somewhere you could fly somewhere on Air Force One in an hour. But when it comes to getting out there and doing the big speeches and glad handing and trying to earn back people's votes, we're simply not seeing it, because not only does he not have the mental capacity, but it seems the physical capacity as well, given all the falls that we've seen from him in recent months. Will Joe Biden be the Democratic nominee? The answer is no. And I could say that more assuredly than I would have even a couple of weeks ago, because what we're seeing in the US media now, Democrats, people that support this man in print and on television, are now saying publicly they don't want him to run again. It's one thing if the right is criticizing Joe Biden or says this man's too old, doesn't have the mental and physical capability, he shouldn't run again. But when it comes from the left, when it comes from David Ignatius, who is a prominent columnist at the Washington Post and one of the biggest supporters of this president, when he says you're too old, you should not run again, that gets the attention of the White House. When Joe Scarborough on MSNBC, which is the biggest cheerleader for Joe Biden and Democrats that we have in this country as far as news organizations are concerned, when he goes on and says, I've spoken to many Democratic senators and every single one of them thinks that Joe Biden is too old and should not run. When this stuff starts being shared publicly, then the pressure is coming from the left, not so much the right, for Biden to get out. And quite frankly, he's taken 40% of his presidency has been on vacation. I'm sure he'd be happy with another 100% where he could say, all right, I beat Donald Trump. I did my job. I passed this legislation, XYZ. Now I'm going to hand the baton off to somebody younger and somebody who could carry the party forward. I don't think one person would have a problem with that, including, I think, Joe Biden.